Hey guys, it's Melanie. So I'm coming at you today with one eye done because we're doing a tutorial. So I promised you guys a look with the new Viseart Petit 4 palettes. And I decided to combine two of the palettes for this look right here. You guys will get a better look at it at the end here, but I chose my two favorite palettes, and it's not going to be a surprise which two I paired together. So I chose the Petit 4 in Frambois, and then combined it with the Petit 4 in Lilas. Love these two together. In fact, I feel like this would be kind of the perfect 8-pan palette right here. Yeah, that's what I would do. If it were my company. It's not. But I love both of these palettes. I've been playing with these a ton and have come up with some really great looks. This one here that I have is definitely my favorite. So this look was kind of inspired by me waking up this morning and thinking, oh, if I were going to a holiday party this year, what kind of makeup look would I do? And this is it. This is what I would do. I'm obviously not going to any holiday parties, but maybe I can keep this in mind for next December, hopefully. So yeah, anyway, let's hop to it. This look, I kind of wanted to be sort of equal focus on eyes and lips. So if you're curious about what's on the rest of my face, especially my lips, that information is in the description box down below, as well as the rest of the makeup that I have here. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm going to start with the Lilas palette. These don't have names. The shades don't have names, so I'm just gonna tell you which ones. And I'm starting with this is a Luxe Soft Definer brush from Zoeva. So it's just a blending brush, just pick one. Actually, you know what? No, the very first thing I'm going to do is set my eye primer, which is probably set by now at this point. But I'm going to go in with the Frambois palette and just take this. It's kind of a peachy skin tone shade, if you will. And I'm going to put that just on a fluffy brush, just a little bit. And I'm going to put that all over. And I have to look at the mirror, guys. Sorry. I'm going to put that all over my eye area here to set my primer, which, by the way, today I'm using the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Amplifying Eye Base, this guy right here. So, yeah. Anyway, so we're just going to put that all over. And this is going to act as a nice base to also help you blend the rest of the shadows. If you don't do a step like this and you struggle with blending your shadows together, think about setting your eye primer, because it really does help with spreading the product out. Your eye primer isn't going to be quite as sticky, and it's not going to grab the initial application of color, and you'll just have a much easier time buffing it out. So anyway, I'm sure most people know that. Okay, back to Lilas and my soft definer brush, and I'm going to go into this shade right here, which is the darker of the two matte shades in the palette. I'm just going to get some of that on my brush, and I'm going to tap that into my brush. If you've watched my tutorials, you know that I do this every time that I apply a crease shade, especially because it helps the shadow to kind of fall in between the bristles, and then when you're blending it, the shadow actually works its way back up and you can deposit more. So it just helps with that initial splat of color. It just makes blending easier, is the moral of the story. Okay, so let's make sure that you guys can see what I'm doing here. So I'm gonna start out with this in my crease. So I didn't want this to be super dramatic because I do have what for me is a bolder lip today. Obviously for some people, this is their everyday lip. I normally go like super nude or like a pinky nude, something very natural. So this is definitely bolder for me. So I just apply that to my natural crease. So I follow essentially my socket line. Just, you know, kind of play around with your eyes and feel where your socket is. Some people apply eyeshadow totally differently. It depends on your face shape, your eye shape, what you want to emphasize. So do what works for you, but hopefully this gives you at least the colors that I'm using, and then apply them in the way that you like. On the outer part of my eye, I like to go slightly above the crease to give a lifted look. A little bit more. Deepen that up just a little bit. And in a second here, you're gonna be like, why did you even spend so much time on this first part? But I promise the layering in this look matters. All right, now that we have that, let's go in with Frambois, and let's take this, I'm gonna call it raspberry. It's a beautiful, like, kind of matte raspberry shade. And again, tap that into your brush, and then I'm going right over what I just did. So I'm layering the shadows to get kind of a unique color that is not automatically in either of these palettes. So just kind of a fun thing you can do to change up the palettes that you have. Just start mixing some of the shades together and come up with a different color. Also, you may have shades very similar to this in some of the palettes that you already own. If you have maybe the Anastasia Modern Renaissance, I'm sure you can come up with a very similar look with that palette for the most part. So, once I have that over top of that original shade, I'm gonna go back to Lilas, and I'm going to go into the lighter of the two matte shades, this one over here. This is a really pretty mauve, and I just keep using the same brush, so I don't switch my brushes. I'm not even like wiping off the excess, because this just kind of adds to the look, I feel like. So this lighter shade I'm going to use to help with the gradient going up towards like my brow bone. Ooh, hair. So placement starts not in the crease, but above. Again, we're looking for a gradient going up. Well, I am. I don't care what you do. You do you. Oh, it's so pretty. I love this eyeshadow look. A little more of that raspberry shade. It's hard to do tutorials because I typically like to, when I'm doing it on camera, like to do one eye and then do the other one. But sometimes you have to make sure that you get the colors. Well, not sometimes, always. You should make sure that both eyes are the same or at least very similar. Okay. So once I have that, I'm gonna go into the Lilas palette here, and I'm gonna take this shade right here, which is a really pretty silvered taupe. And I'm actually just gonna use my pinky. We will use a brush here in a second, but I wanna concentrate this on the inner part of my lid. When I get to the halfway point, I'm gonna switch and I'm gonna use this darker silvered purpley taupe. And that is going on the outer part of my lid towards the halfway point. So essentially the two are going to meet up in the middle. So once again, you have that kind of cool gradient effect going on, just like you do with the crease. Okay. Now I do have some fallout here, not a ton, but I'm just going to use a fluffy brush to pick that up and get rid of it. So I'm just going to clean up a little bit of that shimmer in the crease with my original brush. And now I'm going to go into another palette. What I was looking for was just a really intense black liner shade. So I went with the Marc Jacobs Provocateur palette, this shade as well. Also has some shimmer in it, which I thought would pair nicely with the shimmer on the lid. So we have a lot of shimmer going on here. All right, and this is a Zoeva brow line brush, but I really like this brow brush. You can see it's just an angled brush for my liner. And I love using eyeshadow for my liner because I think it looks a lot softer than pencils or liquid liners or cream liners. But you pick whatever you like. So I'm applying this to the lash line. Obviously, I go a little bit flared on the outer part, and as I go in, I just stick closer and closer to the lash line until it's almost non-existent towards the inner corner there. Again, this is causing some fallout, but it's easy enough to brush away. I've said this before, but I use powder foundation. So for me, my shadow doesn't stick to my cheek area the way that perhaps someone with a, what am I trying to say? Liquid foundation. Yeah, that might be an issue for people with liquid foundation. It's not for me. It just kind of sweeps away very cleanly. Okay, so then I told you I was gonna use a brush. This is the Esom W21. I love this brush. I'm gonna go into that darker silvered taupe again, and I'm just gonna use that to make sure that the liner is blended just a tiny bit on the outer part. Again, I don't want anything harsh. And that's it. And they look exactly the same, thank goodness. All right, brush away that excess. I'm gonna come back here in a second and show you guys the finished look. I'm gonna do my mascara. Today, my mascara combo is the Wander Beauty Unlashed Volume and Curl Mascara, and I'm combining it with the CoverGirl Flourish. So these two, great combo for a nice separated, moderately voluminous lash look. So I'm gonna work on that and then come back here in a second, show you guys the finished look. Ta-da! All right, so here is the finished eye look. I love this. I think it's not over the top, but I think it's pretty and soft and fun, and it's soft enough to where I feel like I can do a slightly bolder lip without having like a competition happening between the two. Sorry, the lighting kind of changed. The sun came out. It's supposed to be raining today. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I really like how this turned out. I think it's a fun look. Honestly, if we were going to a party or something, I would probably pop some false lashes on. Nothing crazy, but just some kind of like wispy lashes or something. I think that'd be really pretty. But I do think this mascara combo is kind of good for every day. So yeah, I did have some pretty major fallout from the As Well shade from the Provocateur palette on the side of my nose here, so I had to clean that up, but it's fine. But yeah, here we are, all dressed up and nowhere to go. But let me know if you picked up either or both, or there's actually 4 in the collection. Did you pick up all of them? What'd you do? I have actually ordered myself another Tarte palette to put my Viseart shadows in. So this palette has my Theory eyeshadows in it. The Theory palettes are also from Viseart, obviously. So I have some room here. I think I'm gonna put some of my like smaller Viseart in here to fill up this space. And then I grabbed another one of these. By the way, these are still available on the Tarte website. I'll link a couple down below. They're super cheap. These are amazing palettes to like depot your other eyeshadow, single eyeshadows, smaller palettes from. So yeah, super like great to travel with. Nice magnet on these, and also a huge mirror if you want to use that to get ready. But yeah, I'm excited to start depotting the rest of my Viseart shadows and being able to access them a little bit more easily. I will say these tiny ones, while super cute, it is a little inconvenient to like, if you want to use multiple shades from different palettes, to like have to, you know, open all of them and have them ready to go. But yeah, anyway, you guys, there you go. If you're curious about the rest of the face, like I said earlier, check that description box. All of the information will be down there. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.